Hello guys, welcome back to SWS Boxing. Today I'm delighted to get back on the channel. John Trethewey. It's show week again. Yeah, good to get you on as always. How are you doing today, John?
I'm very well, thanks, Sam. Thanks for having us on. It's always good to come on and chat to you. I hope you're good as well.
I'm good, thank you, John. Yeah, so it's a good card that you've got this Saturday. We'll run through a couple of the fights. We'll get on to the two title fights a bit later on. Yes, so first, should we start off with Rio Gordon?
Yeah, definitely. Rio meant to be amazing talent. He had his debut, I think, on the Ipswich show a couple of months back. He was due to fight on our last York Call show, but opponent pulled out or something went wrong fight week for him. It wasn't his fault, so we just moved his tickets over. He's a top prospect. He's at the Peacock Gym. We know they're good from there. His brother's Paul Gordon, for anyone who's not aware, or PA Gordon, and Paul's an exceptional talent himself, and hopefully go. I think he'll probably have a British title in the next fight or two. So if he's anywhere near as good as Paul, he'll be very, very good. And I'm being told in the gym that he's just as good as Paul. Slightly smaller. I think he's a weight division lower. Meant to be technically very good and a good amateur background. Don't know too much about him other than that he's a really nice guy. So we're looking forward to seeing him showcase the talents under the big lights.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, you mentioned his brother's. I'm not sure if he still got the area, but he did win the area. PA Gordon or Paul Gordon. Yeah, so it's good to see his brother fighting. I believe it's his second fight.
Yeah, that's it. As I said, he's had his debut, and I don't think Paul does hold the southern area anymore. I'd be surprised if he does because he's at a higher level now. I think they've signed him off to fight for an English, and there was even a British eliminator potentially on there. So probably a case of wait and see what comes next for Paul. But as I say, I hear brilliant stuff about Rio, so let's see what he can bring to the table on Saturday.
Yeah, definitely. Another one who's back on your show. Been a little bit of a while since we saw him. JP O'Meara. I know you're a fan of his. He's against Jose Manuel Perez, a very tough Mexican opponent for him over 6 rounds. Good fight for him.
Yeah, definitely a good fight. These South Americans, Central Americans, Mexicans, they come, they have a go, they're tough, they're durable. So it's a good fight for JP. I do like JP. I think I like the science of the sport, and I think he's a very tidy boxer, JP. He's very good at everything he does. Really likable lad, sells a truckload of tickets. We've had him on a few times. I'd expect him to come through this with a few tests, but he should win it. And then I'd expect to see him in a title fight in the next couple of months.
Yeah, definitely. Because I believe you had his first couple on because I remember I can't remember when it was. He fought on the when it was in Debassi, Shakib Khan, and it was Marley v Jeff O'Fori. I can't. Was that his? I think it was either his debut or his second
That was a
fight on.
proper card, that one. That was a busy night, that, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Good show that one, and can't remember who his opponent was, but yeah. He's boxed on a
Yeah.
few Wasserman cards as well since.
Yeah, he does. He's had his fights between us and Wasserman Channel 5. I think he's done a couple, maybe over in Ireland on a Mick Conlon show. So he's very well connected. But that's because people appreciate how good he is as a talent. So I think he's ready for a step up. Let's get through the weekend, and hopefully that step up will be with us. But wherever it will be, we'll watch with anticipation because I think he's going to win titles as well.
Yeah, and of course Jose Perez, he's quite a regular on your show as always, in the away corner. A good one as a good opponent for JP is I believe he fought Blake Binskin, who's also fighting as well.
That's it. And Blake didn't have it all his own way. It wasn't the easiest night for Blake that night. So these guys bring tests. The reason we've used him before and we've using him again tonight, this week, and we'll probably keep using him, is because as you're stepping fighters up levels, they give them different tests. You're not getting rid of these kind of fighters. They're going to come and make you work for it. They're going to put you through the mill a little bit more than some of the other journeymen. And that's the next stage in his development to make him ready for them title fights when they come.
Yeah, definitely, and that's why because he's a good test for these upcoming prospects.
Hmm.
And he's had a couple upset wins as well, previous in
Yeah.
I think he in Wales and places like that. So he is good.
Well, that's what you want. You want them to come and have a go. Yeah, sometimes when journeymen turn up and you feel that they haven't had as much of a go as they could have done, it's not great for the fans. It's not great for the development of the home fighter. So he will definitely come and bring some tests.
Yeah, definitely. It's an exciting fight, that one. Next up, oh yeah, we can talk about Blake as we just gave him a mention.
Yeah.
Another one from the Peacock Gym, I believe. This time against Elijah Quizada, 6 rounds. Yeah, talk about that fight. Another good little fight for him.
Brilliant fight. Another one, like we've just mentioned, Alicia Crusader, I think is how you pronounce it, although I might be wrong. You might be right. Another step up. He's going up to 6 rounds. His first two fights with us in 4 rounds. You get what you see with him. He just loves to tear up. He's a great, tough lad, Blake, and I think he could go a long way. That last fight, I think it was a bit more of a test than probably a thought, and I think this will bring the same again. That's why we're stepping him up to 6 rounds because he needs to go through these kind of fights to get him ready. Very similar to JP. I mean, he's a few fights behind JP in terms of his development. I think was JP on 7 or 8, but it'll be a good learning fight for Blake, and we expect him to come through with flying colours.
Yeah, definitely. So do you feel like his team thought the two 4 rounders was good and then jump him up to a six? Because sometimes some fighters have a couple 4 rounders, maybe three, four, five 4 rounders, and then step up for a six. What do you think?
I didn't really speak to the team after. I just give my opinion on it. I think he's very talented, and I do think he wins titles for sure, not a problem. But I think that maybe he didn't box as well as what he could have done in that last fight, and he allowed the fight to be harder. Now, if you're neutral, you're a fan just watching that, Blake Binskin's box office, mate, trust me, because he just goes for a war. A bit like Marley Mason, you just mentioned him a minute ago, one of those kind of fighters. But as they learn from them fights, if you keep having fights like that, it will take its toll on you. So I'm sure there would have been some conversations after the fight that says, look, you were brilliant at these parts, but let's look at that. But that's what these learning fights are for, Sam. Yeah. If it was easy, I'd be a world champion, but I'm not because I'm not good enough, mate. So you have to go through all these stuff to get to the next level.
Yeah, definitely. Next up, we'll talk about Karim Aegis, a new signing for the Nilsons in the flyweight division. Well, super flyweight. He's got the tough Stephen Jackson over 6 rounds. Talk about that one.
Yeah, it's exciting to have Kareem on the team. I say on the team because clearly I work with Mark and Kyle. We're one
Yeah.
big team together. Mark's going to be managing him. There aren't loads of fighters at that weight. They've got a couple of them now. They've signed another one recently. So the belt probably will be coming back on a show of ours. You know, it's the first fight he's had with us. We had Kareem before on a Peacock show. I don't know if you remember that. I think you might have even
Yes,
been there a few
he
years
was
back, that one now.
there.
Very talented lad, really likable guy. We met him well, I was with him when they signed him a few weeks back. Went and had some lunch and that. So let's see what he brings. But I reckon he'll want this, and then he'll be ready for titles because I think he's already had quite a few fights.
Yeah.
He's obviously decided to change management stables. So and I believe he's now in with Rod Julian as well. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, that's a good gym that, and yeah, I do remember he did fight on one of your first Peacock shows, I believe. If not the first, it might have been the first. But
I
yeah,
think you're right. I think it was the first one. Yeah.
but yeah, because he's coming off a defeat for a youth title at a higher weight, so it's good to see him get a quick 6 rounds and hopefully go from there.
Yeah,
He's an
look, he's got a new
exciting
management
fighter,
team.
Karim.
No, he's a good fighter, but he's got a new training team, and Rod Julian's excellent. RJ's, we work with them closely, fantastic team to be with, and then obviously he's now got a new manager, so it's a fresh start for him. You know, I'm sure his team before, his management team and his trainers, they were excellent as well, but he's felt the need for that fresh start. Let's expect him to come through against Stephen Jackson, and we'll give him some tests. But they're the tests again that I've just said about other fighters that you need because them title fights are 1 or 2 round the corner for Kareem.
Yeah, 100%. We'll next up we'll talk about Finley James, not the original fight for Finley, with unfortunate of the Rob Taylor fight falling through. But yeah, good to get Finley on as always.
Yeah, Rob Lloyd Jr. had a little bit of a knock, so that fight had to be rescheduled. It has been rescheduled and it'll be on our following show. So we've probably let the cat out of the bag a little bit there, but everybody knew the fight was on initially. So, but Finley still needs to fight, yeah, because you can't just stay inactive. and it was cancelled a couple of times for one reason or another. So Finley will be out. I don't know. We matched him today, to be fair, I think, against Gregores, who is another tough Central South American fighter, I think Central America, that will give him tests. I like Finley. He's excellent. He's such a great guy to deal with. You know, he's very laid back, relaxed, and balanced, but technically very good. He's served us well, and we will continue to look after him as well. And we hope he comes through this. He's going to be fighting an 8 rounder still, which I think is really good, because sometimes when a title fight falls through, it's easy to go, oh, let's just do a 6 or save some money because it's not as expensive, or not take a tougher fight. It's a good fight for Finley, and he will be tested, but we expect him to come through. And then that's a fantastic fight coming up that we've already got sanctioned on our show against Rob Lloyd in the one after.
Yeah, for the area, which will be good.
Yeah, you got both two undefeated fighters there. I think what is Rob like 12-0 now? Finley will
11,
literally
12 and 0, yeah.
Rob, what's Finley 9, so he should go 10-0. You know, 12-0 v 10-0 for a southern area, and it's a great fight. When we announced it the first time, we had a lot of traction from that because they're both technically very, very good. That fight, you know, we'll talk about that on the next one when we're briefing before that fight. But I'm looking forward to that because I just think it's such a 50-50 fight.
And you'll get a load of split opinions on who wins that.
You will do for sure, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Joseph Butler versus Ali B. Labanjai, 6 rounds, another good little fight.
Yeah, another good fight back for Joseph. I feel sorry for Joseph. I think we had him once before. Quite well avoided. Not a lot of people want to fight him. Title fights being offered to a few, and it just wouldn't come off for one reason or another, different weights, etc. He'll be out on the fight after in a title that we will probably announce on the night on Saturday in the ring against another prospect down south for a title fight. So, yeah, we'll look forward to that. But firstly, he's got to come through the weekend, yeah, because Ali B. Labanja, again, is another great fighter. So
And
Joseph better be on his best
recently,
game.
and recently got a draw on your show against Tyler J. Wells as well.
Correct. So that proves the point. So Joe, and I think Tyler might even be in the same gym, or certainly the same town down in Portsmouth as Joseph. So I'm sure they would have spoke. I'm sure he would have watched that fight back and learnt from it. Um, so yeah, Joseph needs to be on his A game, and we need him to be so that he can come and have his title fight next.
Yeah, definitely. So good little fight. Yeah, Sonny McElliott v Garth Newt, an exciting 4 round fight. Sonny, of course, 1-0, had his debut in October, and Garth Newt recently upset a Birmingham prospect, and of course, he had a bit of a barnstormer with Liam Dillon. He did drop Liam as well.
Well, Liam Dillon's an ex-British champion, is he not? Yeah. So
Yeah.
again, that poses to be a great fight, and fair play to Sonny, because sometimes taking fights like that in your second fight, people can be a little bit like. And Garth's a good fight, like you say. So hopefully Sonny comes through. He's had his debut with us. We look forward to seeing him again on Saturday and putting on another good display.
Yes, definitely. Oh yes, Jamie Barrett, very top amateur coming through. A lot of people been singing his praises. Got high hopes for Jamie this time out. He's oh no, sorry, it's his debut against Ryan Frost.
Yeah, so his debut was due out on our last show, or the one before. It was the one before last, I think. And
Yeah, it was when
he turned
Jordan
up.
Grandin had his 200th.
That's right. He turned up. He did everything as normal. He was weighing in on the day. He'd sold a bundle of tickets. And the opponent who flew in from Ireland decided to come in about £12 over. So we'll just end that there. So the fight didn't happen and go ahead, which is extremely disappointing for all involved, but mostly Jamie, who's gone through a 10, 12-week training camp. You know, he's a young lad. He's chomping at the bit to get his debut done. Anyone who wants to go and do their homework on Jamie, just go and Google his amateur pedigree, because I'd expect this kid to go all the way. Doesn't matter who talks about him. He is a fantastic talent. He's cheeky. He can sell. He knows how good he is. And he's from Slough, so he must be cool, right?
Yes, definitely. And of course, Ryan Frost, he fought a couple of the Peacock fighters, and he's also fought McKinson on your show in December before. Recently fought on your show against John Cole as well, which was originally when Jamie was meant to fight for his debut.
Right, and Ryan's an excellent fighter, right? Very good fighter. So
He's
he
coming
will
off
get
a
again.
Queensbury show fight as well, Ryan.
Yeah, exactly. And he's very good, Ryan. But Jamie, he will be. I'm not sure they'll rush him, but they probably will fast track to a certain degree because the levels in the sport. But it's a great starting debut for him. You know, Ryan will come and have a go and give him tests. But yeah, watch the fireworks, and you heard it here first. Jamie might go all the way.
Definitely looking forward to that one. Should be a good one. Yeah, and then we'll mention, of course, your two title fights. Yeah, we'll first mention the international title super featherweight between Jimmy Lee and Saleh Kassim. Talk about that fight, a good fight, and the
Yeah, look, Jimmy's
international
excellent.
belt as well.
Yeah, it's great to have, and this international belt at Commonwealth is new, so it's great to have two of these on a show. Two title fights is always good. Jimmy, you know better than me. I think you've probably been to most of his fights. You're very close with him. You've interviewed him from day dot. Another great talent. I've got to be honest, Sam. I can't tell you much about the opponent. I just can't. You know, if it's a British opponent, I might have a bit more. I haven't even looked at him, but again, they're happy to take the fight. It's been signed off. We hope that Jimmy comes through and get a belt under his belt, and then that'll be a conversation afterwards. Well, who do we go with next in terms of someone else who might have a belt or a British person or a Southerner? But we love Jimmy. We love having him on, and he's a top lad.
Yeah, definitely. And a little bit on his, I know sort of his opponent a little bit, but not. I mean, like seen him fight a little bit. He fought for the full Commonwealth against Con Murphy this year in Ireland, and I think it was he got injured in the fight or in the corner, but it was like 6 rounds or something like that. But Con went to fight for the IBO world title in Belfast, I think it was, on Queensberry, and it was a split decision, so it was a close one.
Yeah, so that if you go from that data, and your knowledge is so good, Sam, I couldn't have told you all the stuff you've just said. Then that would tell you it should be a good fight, right? Um, but clearly, let's see what happens here.
Yeah, definitely should be Jimmy's toughest opponent to date, but one we expect Jimmy to get through, do you think?
Well, he's fighting for a title, right? It's his first title. Well, no, he did have a youth title, did he not? So, but you would expect when people are fighting for titles that they are going to be their toughest fight, or one of at least. So, I expect Jimmy to have done his homework, and his team will have him prepared, and they'll know the strengths and weaknesses of the opponent, and certainly more importantly, what strengths Jimmy has. And let's hope he overwhelms him, stops him, and gets that belt.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I'm not sure which one was your main event, so I didn't know what one to mention first. But I will mention the other international title fight. A bit of a needle, should we say, for this one between Zoe Hunter-Smith and Lilla Crawl-Seaman. Talk about that fight. A great fight as well, that one.
I'm looking forward to it. The word needle you used is bang on, Sam. Great word. I think when people do have needle, and I know it's genuine, it just adds spice to it. Certainly from our point, when we're making the fights and I'm dealing with this team and that team, I think sometimes when you're making title fights, Sam, and 50-50s, and for anyone watching, they're not as easy as you'd think it is because someone might not be ready for it yet or not want to do it. And when you get them over the line, but, Liliella, I don't think she needed to because Zoe was going to take the fight anyway, but she went straight onto Instagram, started calling her out, which just added a bit of spice and stuff like that. And like I said, the needle, and then Zoe come back with more. Good fight. We've had Zoe before. I've never seen Liliella on our show, so I can't really tell you where I think or who's going to win the fight. What I do know is when I speak to trainers and managers on 50-50 fights, sometimes I can tell in the voice on the phone whether they really want it or not. Both the teams were like, absolutely, we'll have it. We know we beat her. And that's what both teams said. So there's definitely belief from both teams that they think they're going to come through and win it. Well, certainly that's how it seems, unless they pulled the wool over my eyes. So, yeah, I'm excited by that.
Yeah, definitely. And they're both saying on social media that they're gonna stop one another. And of course, you'd say maybe Zoe on paper she's got a sort of 50-50 record, but if you look at who she's fought, there some good opponents. And of course, Lily, she's currently unbeaten.
Yeah, and that's what makes a great fight. You've got one fight with a bit more experience, and some of those losses, Sam, will put them in good stead, right? When you get beat, you know what's happened before and what not to do again, or how to tackle those circumstances in a fight differently, and they can come up with a plan. Equally, when you are undefeated, like Liliella is, you have no fear. She will expect to just come and win and just see it as another win and then move on to bigger and better things. But she doesn't have the experience, but then she hasn't been beat. So the question is she levels above? You don't know because they haven't fought yet, which is why it's a great fight.
And
I'm not
that's
going to
why.
pick one. Both ladies will be looked after. They're both being treated as home fighters. It doesn't really matter who's in what corner. They've both conducted themselves really well, and we look forward to that scrap on Saturday night.
100%. What one's your main event, or have you not decided just as of yet?
Well, the two title fights naturally will come on late. I'd imagine Jimmy will do a lot of tickets because he always does. We'll find that out. So Jimmy will probably headline. We won't confirm that yet because quite often we do look at tickets. We're not going to put a 4 or 6 rounder on as a headliner when we got title fights, but there's 1 or 2 fighters on there that you've mentioned that will do a hell of a lot of tickets and they're in good fights themselves. But I think those two title fights will be the ninth and 10th fight of the night. Just not sure what order yet.
Good, good. And of course, we'll make the broadcast as well as Talk Sport and Seconds Out. How good is it to keep streaming, getting the streams broadcasted on those two platforms, which is huge for you and Nilsson as well.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Look, people who can't afford to get down there or can't make it down or they're not allowed out because they were out last weekend or whatever it is set up at home, they want to be able to watch these fights on a platform. So TalkSport are TalkSport. We know they're one of the, if not the biggest sports radio station in the world. And Seconds Out are amazing. They're a huge platform as well. And to be fair, Rob at Seconds Out, give him a good shout. He's always looked after us. We enjoy working with both those parties and they put on a good stream. So, yeah, if you haven't got a ticket and you need to watch it on there, watch it on there. If you can get down and get a ticket, come and watch it because it'll be a great night.
Definitely. What time's it all sort of getting started on Saturday?
I'll imagine it'll start around about 5 or 5:30. Again, let's just wait until all the medicals are cleared and bits and pieces, and then we'll know where we're at probably Wednesday, Thursday, and then we'll have a confirmation of when the doors open and the first fight. But if I was a betting man, I'd imagine the first fight probably about 5:30.
Half five, six, yeah. Good, good.
Yeah,
And yeah, from me, John, a big thank you for your time, and I hope to see you on Saturday night.
I look forward to seeing you Saturday, mate. It's always good to be on the show. Thanks for having us on.
Anytime, John. Thank you. Good luck with the show.
Speak soon, mate. See you Saturday. Bye bye.
Bye.